Happy Monday. Donnie Baker here with the LPR Sound Foundation. Hey man, got something I want to share with you today. I was on a call with a coaching student this week. A confusion came up, and I've had this. I've seen this before. We've run into this before. You and I have talked about it before, and I wanted to bring it up with you today. We're here today at B-Side Studios, and the reason I'm facing you this way is because I have a Pro Tools screen right below the camera, and I can see what I'm doing with Pro Tools, and it's awesome. It's great, and plus you get to see my cool rack of stuff behind me. But I wanted to talk to you today about the difference between multitracks and stems. This came up with a coaching student this week. He was saying the word stems, but what he actually meant was multitracks. So there seems to have been over the years a confusion of what stems are and what multitracks are. So I'm going to show you today. We're going to be able to pop over here to Pro Tools, and I'll be able to share with you exactly what I'm talking about. Now, the session that you see up right here, this is a multi-track session, okay? This is what we mean by multi-tracks is that all the tracks, okay? You see here in the drum section, we have the kick in, the kick out, the sub kick, the snare top, and so on and so on. Each one of these is its own track. Okay, now when we talk about stems, I've got a stem track over here. These are stems, and if you look at these, let me make these a little bit bigger here for you. These are all the drums, all the basses, the guitar solo, the main guitar, the lead vocals, and the background vocals. So you see that these are the background vocals here. These are the lead vocals. Let me play this for you and let you hear what it sounds like. Okay, so I can collapse all these down, and I'm going to talk to you about that in a second as well. We can collapse all these down, and I'm going to talk to you about that in a little bit. Okay, but what I want to share with you is that this is what this song has. Let me come back over here. Let me bring me in here so you can see me. So this song has been released. It is now available to purchase and listen to on Spotify. It's awesome. I'll put a link in the description to the artist and where you can hear the album. The album's great. I recorded this album. I mixed this album. I did not master it. We could talk about that on another day. If you mix, you shouldn't master, especially for a major label release. Okay? So this is what the multi-tracks sound like. Sure you can hear that because I can see it.
I don't care. I walk in a room, everybody stare. I got charisma, it's easy to say. I'm a bad man.
I'll take you through the chorus. You hear the background vocals here.
Bad man. I lose control. I'm a mean man. Bless my soul. I'm gonna ride you all night long. I'm a bad man, baby. It's on.
Now this is the mix that got released. Okay, this is the final approved mix that got released. Yes, it got mastered after this, so it sounded a little better. So that was the multi-track mix. Here's the stem mix. Okay, and let me solo the stems. See if you hear a difference. Yes, there is no difference. Come back over here to me. Yeah, there's no difference. It's exactly the same. And the way that I got to it is that I actually took the mix, I actually took the multi-track mix, and I stemmed it out. What stems are, so let's rephrase this again. Multi-tracks are individual tracks, line per line per line. You got your kick drum, you got your kick, all right, so in this case I got a kick in and a kick out. I got a snare top and a snare bottom. Tom 1, Tom 2, floor tom, etc., etc., etc. Okay, stems, you basically take all your drums and you put them together, including all your processing, all your effects. You put it all together. Now, in this stem mix, let me come back to my Pro Tools screen. In my stem mix, after I put everything together, make them bigger again, you can see at the top I've got my chorus and my delay for my guitars on a separate track because I might want to automate that in a stem mix. Okay, now we're going to talk about that in a bit. But so here's the multi-track. So basically I took all the drums and I made them into one. Okay, I took all the basses, which is only one, but I made it into one, including the processing, which there's a tube channel strip on here, right? So on the bass, that was the process for the bass. The bass actually was recorded really well, so we didn't really have to do a bunch of process to it. Okay, so let me break this down so you can see just my my routing folders. Yeah, I work in routing folders because it's easy. Okay, when it comes to creating a stem mix, it's simple. All I have to do is select all my stems that I want, okay, and I can right click on it, or in this case control click on it, okay, and I can bounce. Now here's where I can name everything. So everything's going to come out with the drums stem. This is the name prefix. Stems drums, stems bass, stems solo, etc. Okay, and I can add all the processing. I can tell it to render all the volume automation and all the pan automation. All that's going to be rendered. I could do it offline. I can also say where I want to send it, where I want to prompt for location, or I might have a folder already set up. I might want to just send it to the bounced folder, whatever. I can also import it after bounce. Okay, so that is processing the stems with all of the plugins processing you have. Let's see what we have on the lead vocal. Let's see what processing we have on the lead vocal. Okay, so I got a little reverb, I got a little delay on there. I like the Xbox Pro, which is what I used for the mix. Okay, you can see I got some dynamics and EQ. I got a little reverb and delay, and I got a little distortion. I'm adding a little grit to the vocals through that guitar amp. So all of that processing is going to get processed through the stem or through the folder to the stem. And then when I import the stems, if I come over here and look at the stems, this is all those tracks that you just saw with all the processing included. So all I have to do now is adjust levels. Okay, so come back over here to me. Here's a tip, pro tip, everyone. Don't send stems to your mastering engineer. Okay, even if the mastering engineer asks for stems, don't send stems to your mastering engineer. Just make it a habit to not send stems to your mastering, okay? Because what happens there is the mastering engineer might think, oh, the solo guitar is a little loud, I'm going to turn down that stem. That's going to alter your mix to a point that you might not approve, okay? So what you send to your mastering engineer is a simple 2-track, okay? In my case, I always send 24-bit 48K to my mastering guy, okay? I do record my drums at 96, 32-bit 96, but I cut everything down to 24-bit 48 to send to my mastering engineer, okay? And that's just me. That's just how I work. Because I work on an analog console, that's how I do it. So let's clear up one more time the difference between stems and multi-tracks. All right, let's go back to the Pro Tools screen. These are stems, what you're looking at. These are all the drums right here. Okay, these are the drums, these are the basses, these are the solo guitars, etc., etc., etc. Okay, and then we have our multi-tracks, which are here. And here we have the kick in, the kick out, we actually had a sub kick and a snare top and a snare bottom, etc., etc., etc. Okay, so that's a lot. So those are the multi-tracks. And yes, I did process some of the, I used a trigger on the toms to add a little bit of beef to them in this particular song. The guitars I did use, I got some DIs going on with some, there's a processed amp on the DI, the Slate stuff. So yeah, there was some supplemental stuff added to the mix of the multi-track. But when you do a stem mix, all of that comes down to a stem. If you're creating beats for hip hop or R&B, you'll want to send stems to whoever's recording your vocals. If you're not recording your vocals, you want to send stems. Okay, you don't want to send multi-tracks because there, again, the recording engineer might change your mix of your beat enough that you don't approve. So this is why we send stems when we work on hip hop or R&B stuff. I'll send stems. I digress. So hopefully that cleared up the difference between stems and multi-tracks. Let's kind of get back to using the correct terminology when we're talking about these parts of songs, because it's important. If somebody says, oh, let me send you the stems, you're like, okay, cool. And then you end up with multi-tracks. You're like, what do you want me to do with this, bro? You said we were going to be recording vocals to some stems. Or if somebody says, oh, let me send you some multi-tracks, and they send you stems, you say, oh, where's the kick drum and the snare drum? Oh, what if I want to adjust? So there's that. All right, so hey, I've got a thing coming up. The Minimal Mix Masterclass is coming up. We do it pretty much once a month. So if you want to check it out, I'll leave a link in the description. Go check it out. The Minimal Mix Masterclass. Kind of this is kind of a minimal mix. There's not a lot going on. There is some hardware inserts going on there, but not a lot. Okay, so come join us for the Minimal Mix Masterclass, and we'll see you there. If you want some practice mixing, I'll link to a video right here where these files are actually part of the practice mix. You can go mix this song if you want. So we'll see you next time. My name is Donnie Baker, and I am out.